Can you see my Google Chrome screen?
No, no.
Now, can
Yes.
you see this? Yes.
Yes, yes.
So
You're quite soft actually.
okay. So thank you. I'll speak a bit louder. Okay. Now, am I audible enough?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if I go to google.com,
Yeah, you're audible, but still not
Acha, not that efficient.
It's clear actually.
not
Must be a
not
bit
that
smaller
loud.
one.
Yeah, I mean,
It's very clear.
you
Okay.
have to hold the mobile to the ear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I still not audible enough?
No, you are clear to us. Maybe there is a device issue.
Okay.
I can hear
Yeah,
you
maybe
clearly.
that
I
might
can
be
hear
the
you
issue.
clearly. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So if I go to google.com, okay, and a user wants to purchase an iPhone, okay, and I type iPhone 11 and I click enter. So google.com gives me a list of websites which are selling iPhones. So there is apple.com, then there is this another website, then there is Flipkart, then there is gadgets.ndtv.com, then there is amazon.com. Okay, so you see the ranking is different, and if I type over here, I want to buy an iPhone 11, okay, and I hit enter over here. So what you see, amazon.com over here is first, apple.com over here is second, then comes Flipkart, then comes Amazon again. So what happens in SEO? There are two types of SEOs. One is you pay google.com to display your link first, and one is Google analyzes your website. It looks through the content of your website, and then it gives the ranking of your website which you made related to the search query a person types in. So if you see this ad thing, ad.amazon, you see this ad portion, this small thing, it shows that amazon.com has paid Google a certain amount of price for this particular keyword I want to buy. Suppose if I enter over here, I want to buy a clock. Okay, so for now, right now it's giving me directions where I can go to a store manually, and then again it is ranking amazon.com as the first one, but over here it is not showing the ad thing because amazon.com hasn't paid for the keyword clock, but it is still ranked first because the content related to buying a clock on amazon.com is quite rich. Like a person, if he goes to amazon.com, he will end up buying a clock of his choice. Over here you'll get analog locks, analog clocks, then of different shape, of different material, and different price range. Then you can see the color which you like and you can choose accordingly. So SEO is search engine optimization. After you create a website, how well you can optimize the search engine. Now there are various search engines. There is DuckDuckGo, then there is Bing, then there is Google, which is the most famous and the most used search engine. So how well you can optimize the search engine depends on your SEO. Now SEO is affected due to various reasons. First is the content on your website. If you have good quality content, suppose if I type over here Stanislaus, okay, it's my school, and I hit enter. So what happens, this website over here is the only website which is providing information, accurate information related to Stanislaus. Now then there is Stanislaus Bandra.in, then there is Stanislaus Bandra.in secondary section and stuff like that. Then comes the Wikipedia section. Then there are other websites which are talking about Stanislaus.com. But the content on this Stanislaus Bandra.in is better than the content in other websites. So that content is up to us, like however well we can upload the content, or else how good content and accurate content we write is related on us. But then what we can do is, in order for google.com to know what content we have written, we make use of the meta tags. Okay, so the meta tags over here, they are used for this description. You see over here, definition and usage, this small description over here of every website. If even if you search for Stanislaus, there will be a small description of the website. It is a Jesuit institute. It is located in Bandra, Mumbai, and it is affiliated to SSC board starting from KG. This small description is written with the help of these meta tags. So these meta tags help in the Google ranking of your website. So everyone, after making the website, they want their website to be ranked first. It should come first. Then there is this w3schools.com, which teaches web development and HTML and stuff like that. And then there is this other website which also teaches about the meta tags, the SEO guide. Then there are other websites. So how well you write the meta tags depends on the user, so that the ranking is affected. The SEO is basically only related to ranking. It's got nothing related to the content which is being displayed on the website. Like you add interactive pictures and you add good videos on your website, but then you don't make use of these meta tags. You see over here, meta tag name, then you write the description, then you write the content. Usually the content is not that small. Like over here in the practice thing, they have written this content as free web tutorials, and then the keywords they have used is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Usually most of the companies, their content is like mostly of 10 to 15 lines. So how well you can write the content in the meta tag won't be covered in this tutorial. It's beyond the scope of this tutorial. And the back end and the front end part, which is server side and database related, won't be included. So you all will be able to just make plain websites with pictures, with interaction, and the person will be able to view your website in different devices like the mobile phone or else the PC and the tablets and all. Like the layout will be a bit different for each device. You all will be able to learn how to create different layouts for different devices. So before we start into the course, I would like to tell you all more about web development. Okay, so web development is divided into three parts, that is front end, back end, and the database. So for front end, the basics which everyone needs to know is HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript. Then in CSS is only related to styling of your web page, how well you can style, how you can add animations, shadows, then different font size, font families, and stuff like that. And the CSS is related to the styling part. Then comes the JavaScript, which is the most famous and the most liked programming language in terms of web development. So there are different frameworks in JavaScript. There is Angular, there is React, there is Vue, NPM, which is a server-side language. Then there's Node. Then there are different like TypeScript and all. Then you need to know about servers in order to host your website, because without a server, a person won't be able to access your website from anywhere. Like I sit and write a very big website, a good website with great quality stuff, animation and stuff, but it is not uploaded on the server. Okay, if it's not uploaded on the server, it won't be indexed on Google. A person won't be able to view my website. A person won't be able to access my website. So the front end deals with only the portion in which the user can view the content. This database is not related to front end. Then there are tools which you use in front end. This is just a text editor symbol. It's known as Visual Studio. And then there is this terminal symbol, then there's Git, then there is this another symbol which is related to another technology for version control and stuff. So in front end, you don't need to learn all of these these programming languages. Like if you go to and sit to learn Angular, React, Vue.js, then Node.js, everything. So it won't be useful for you. Like you'll get confused. So what people do, they select a particular language. Like from JavaScript, they'll pick one language like React, or else for that matter, Angular, or else Vue.js. And then in the CSS portion, you can use Bootstrap, you can use SASS, then you can use another language like it's known as Less and all that. And there are many more frameworks of CSS itself. Like there are frameworks for JavaScript, there are frameworks for CSS as well, which can be used for more interactive view and for more interactive display of your content. Then comes your backend. So what happens in backend is all the information a user types on the website. Like for that matter, there is facebook.com. Okay, a user has to log into their account. So the person will, what will he do? He will type his email ID, he will type his password, or else what he can do, he can type his phone number and his password. So that content will be sent to the server for verification purpose. Okay, once it is sent to the server, it will go to the database and check whether Amir Zakaria is a registered account, or else is he a is he a user, or he needs to sign up and stuff like that. So all the content is sent on the server and then it is processed by the database. So the backend languages which are used are Node.js, then there is Ruby, Python, Java, PHP, then there is C#. It's not C#, it is C#. Then there is Go. So in order to learn these languages as well, anyone has to learn these languages. He or she needs to know the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. So when you make your backend part of the code, you have to upload it on your server. There are different servers which are available these days. The most famous ones are Amazon Web Service, AWS. Then there are Azure servers, Google Cloud Computing. Then there is Heroku, etc., etc. So in this, when you are coding the backend as well, you need a good text editor. In the course, I will tell you the uses of the text editor and how useful can text editor be for you. Then people use the terminal as well a lot in the backend section. Then there are databases. So all these databases which are displayed over here, okay, so these databases are used for different aspects. Like there is NoSQL and then there is MySQL databases. SQL stands for structured query language. Okay, so in this database, what happens is all the information present in the database is linked to each other, like a username, a password, then the chats of the user, the posts of the user, all of them, they are linked to each other. What happens when the person has to log in? The person should receive all the information which he had stored on that particular website, like his chats or for that matter posts. They are interlinked with each other. Like my brother's posts are not same as my post. So Google can you all see the PPT, or you all are unable to see the PPT?
No, we don't see it.
We are unable to see.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks for the reminder. Now, can you all see the PPT?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you all just missed on the few parts. Yeah, the front end part. Like you see all these symbols, these icons type. They just represent each programming language. Like you see this HTML5, then this is CSS3, then JavaScript. Then for CSS portion, there is Bootstrap, there is SASS. Then there are other frameworks which are used in CSS itself. So in JavaScript, I was saying that there are different frameworks for front-end code. Like how we make a website in HTML, you can make that same website a bit advanced, a bit with more sort of animations and more customization. So you see this A type of symbol, it stands for the programming language known as Angular. Then there is this atom type of symbol which stands for a React language. It is known as React. Its function is also only related to front end part. Then there is Vue.js, then there is TypeScript, there is Node, then there is NPM, and then you need to upload your websites on servers, as I mentioned before. The most famous servers are AWS, Google servers. AWS stands for Amazon Web Services. And then there is Azure, there is Heroku, there is this DigitalOcean company which provides web hosting. Then there is the backend section of web development, which is related to Node.js, Ruby, Python, Java, PHP, C#. Then there is a Go programming language. In order to learn the backend part, again, you need to learn the basics, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then there are databases. Each and every database has a different role. So MySQL database is different from Progesta SQL, and Progesta SQL is different from SQLite. Can you all see this last section of icons over here? There is SQLite, Cassandra, Neo4j, and then there is this. Can you all see the last section? Yes. Okay, so
Yes, yes.
databases are also two types of databases, SQL and NoSQL. In NoSQL, all the databases like MongoDB, then MariaDB, IBM DB2, and Redis, and all these databases come under NoSQL. The information in NoSQL is not interconnected. Like you make wikipedia.com, okay, and you have to add enormous information, like a lot of information on your web page. So what a person will do, he will make use of MongoDB. Over here, the information is not interlinked to each other. Like if you go on google.com, can you all see my web browser?
Yes, yes.
Yes, and you type a particular query and you go for the images part. So what it has lots and lots of images over here. So if you want to display such enormous information or a lot of content on your website, so people make use of MongoDB. Of course, you can make websites which are having this chat system, and you can make websites like Gmail, Facebook, Instagram, having where you can post your content and stuff like that using MongoDB. But MongoDB is specifically for information which is in large content. Now MongoDB is a new technology nowadays, so people prefer MongoDB over SQL. You see this MySQL, then MS SQL, Progesta SQL, because the syntax used in MongoDB are much more easier than MySQL, Progesta SQL, and SQLite. These are like faster databases. They connect to you faster, they provide information a bit quicker. Then there is this Oracle database. You see over here, there is Oracle. You all can see the presentation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your this Oracle database, then there is this Redis database. All these databases are used by banks. Okay, so if a person has a master in the languages of Oracle and Redis and all this MS SQL as well, so he can work for a bank. These are like more secure databases. Like there are people who are interested in hacking. So hacking these databases are quite tough. They are like made with more encryption, and the syntax in these languages are pretty strict. So the person makes a very secure database using these frameworks. And MySQL is more like an easy database language, and you can make a e-commerce website using MySQL, or for that matter MongoDB and SQLite and Progesta SQL. Just the difference in these databases is that the security level in these databases, like SQLite and Progesta SQL, they are more secure than MySQL. Then MariaDB is more secure than MySQL. Of course, SQL is also a very secure database system. There is no doubt in that. But these are more better and a better alternative to databases. So moving on to what is known as the full stack development. Now, what is full stack development is that the person, he knows the front end, the back end, the database, and the deployment methods. So in full stack also, you don't need to learn all these programming languages. You just pick up one framework. Like you take React as the front end, you take Node.js as the backend, or you can use PHP for backend, and you can use Python for backend, and you can just select one database language or framework which you are comfortable in, and then you can pick up one company where you can host that website. So what happens in full stack development, the developer deals with all the aspects of the website, the front end, back end, and the database part. So that person can sit comfortably, and he is not dependent on other people to work along with him or stuff like that. Like if you go on websites like there is freelancer.com, so there people post requests, there people ask help from developers to make a website. And what happens is, in such cases, a full stack developer has an over edge of the developers who only deal with the front end and the back end. Like if I know only the front end part, I will be able to make a website which looks good, which is having great content. But what will happen, the user can't interact with the website. The user can't send messages on the website to a particular user. And the database is the portion where all your information is stored. So in a full stack developer, what he does, he makes his own front end, his back end code, and the database and stuff like that, so that he is not dependent on others. Of course, his pay scale is more than the front end and the back end, and it's not that much also. Like if he's paid $100,000, a full stack developer, the front end developer might be paid like $90,000. Like there's no much difference, but the work in a full stack developer is more, and compared to what a front end developer does. The full stack developer has to look at the back end and the front end and the database. So he has to make the entire website alone. Of course, he can take help of people, he can guide people. So what happens, a full stack developer becomes the manager of the project. Suppose if I'm working for facebook.com and I'm a full stack developer, so what facebook.com will do, he will assign me a project, and then he will take another employees who are specialized in front end, back end, and databases. respectively, and he will tell them to work under me and under my command. So what the manager can do, he will know that the person who is making the front end code, whether if he's making any errors or else he's making any mistakes, he can help him out and he can rectify everything, and he can keep a track of the speed of work at which he's working at. So suppose I have knowledge of front end, back end, and databases, and there's a back end guy working under me, there's a front end guy working under me. So what will happen if the back end guy tells me, no sir, this is not possible in the back end part, we cannot add this particular feature, or else we cannot go about this in this manner and all that. So since I have knowledge of backend as well, I can tell him, no, you are wrong, you can do this using this method, you can add these features using this particular framework and the code. So in backend, mostly the people who are specified and specialized in backend, they should know more than one framework. Like they should know PHP, they should know Python, they should know Node.js and C Sharp, because he will be dealing with many projects in different languages. And the front end person who specializes in front end, he should also know more than one framework. You know, it helps when the person is asked to make a particular code or a program in a specific language. So knowing multiple frameworks helps the person a lot in building the website. And in full stack development, you don't need to know all the frameworks, you can just pick out one or two frameworks from each. Like the front end part, you pick up React, and then you use CSS, and then the back end part you can use PHP or else Node.js. Then you can just choose one database of your own choice and you can make a website. But if you're not a full stack developer, it is advised that you learn more than one framework in your field. And in this particular tutorial, advanced frameworks, as I mentioned before, won't be taught, like Angular and Vue.js, and then there is React. It's all beyond the scope of this tutorial. So after learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you all can proceed to learn with other languages, higher frameworks, more powerful frameworks. So you can move on, and you all can improve on your coding skills using these frameworks. Then what exactly is HTML5? Okay, since we will be learning HTML in this course, you all should know what is HTML5. Why is it called HTML5 and not only HTML? Why not HTML3? The reason it is called HTML5 is that this particular language, which is the latest version it is working on, is fifth version. Fifth developed version of HTML is HTML5. Previously, there was HTML 2.0, there was HTML3, HTML4, and the latest, most improvised version of HTML is HTML5.
What does HTML stand for?
Pardon?
What does HTML stand for?
Yes, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and the files saved in HTML are saved with an extension .html. Like if you go in your folder, okay, you can see your documents are saved in .txt, which are typed in the notepad. Then your documents in your Microsoft Office, they are saved in docs, doxx. Then your ppt is saved in another extension, and there are games and softwares which are saved in .cpp, which stands for .c++ or else .c. And the extension part is the most important part in the language. If you save a code without this particular extension, the code won't run. So if you have written a code in CSS, the extension for CSS is different. If you have written a code in HTML, the extension of HTML is different from that of JavaScript. JavaScript extension is .js. HTML extension is .html. So people, when they start programming, so they get confused in what are the programming languages. So HTML is not a programming languages. It is not a part of programming languages. It is a markup language. So what happens in programming languages is you add functions, you add statements and queries that if this happens, then you should give this output. Like if the password and the username is correct, then the person should be given access to log in into his account. So that can't be done in HTML. HTML is only used for structuring and presenting the content on a web page. Like you can add a title on the top, then you can add paragraphs at a particular side, then you can add photos. So the layout, the structure, and the order of your web page is done using HTML. So if you want to add queries like in the password field, when usually people sign up for a Facebook account or else a Gmail account, or for that matter any sort of account, so what happens, they have to type the password 2 times, and the password should match, and the password has a few criterias, that your password should contain one uppercase, one special character, a number, and it should be like 12 characters long. That is done using programming languages like JavaScript. That can't be done in HTML. What you can do is just add an input field so that the user can type the password, but verifying whether the password is meeting the conditions of the person is done using programming languages like PHP, or else you can use JavaScript, you can use Node.js, and there are multiple frameworks used for programming. So HTML is a markup language. It is not a programming language. Many people they get confused in markup languages and programming languages. And HTML5 supports all the latest browsers. Okay, so if you have a browser which is old, which was used 10-15 years ago, those browsers won't support the syntax, and those browsers won't support that information which you are using in HTML5. Like if you are using Firefox 19.0 or else higher versions than that, then your HTML code will be displayed, HTML5 code will be displayed well, and there won't be errors, or else there won't be broken links, and there won't be blank spaces left. Like Chrome browser and Opera browser, all these latest browsers, they support HTML5 syntax.
Amir,
Yes, I think Father John Rose is with us right now. So he is the one who has organized this online seminar for everyone. So he is doing great work, and he's also organizing seminars for poor students in Afghanistan. And I would like to give a short introduction of Father John Rose. So Father John Rose is the first person to make a Linux operating system DVD, which was used by various colleges and schools for the Linux lab and all that. And he was the one who introduced the Linux operating system in in Xavier's Institute of Engineering. And he is also holding a PhD degree in computer engineering as well as in physics. So he is quite well versed in this field of science and technology. So I would like Father John Rose to address the participants in our meeting.
so my dear people who are really enrolled for this course, and thanks to Father Jude, Father Laurie, and Arun Lobo, who thought about that this course would be helpful for the youth. Friends, I tell you, they really thought about this program because, you know, our college is close to Dharavi. Every day in Dharavi, 5 lakhs idlis have been prepared and being taken all over the city. So what our students did, a group of students, 5 students got together and prepare an app on the mobile phone and also a website that students can order, the people can order idlis. So their commission is only 10 paise for 5 lakhs idlis. So now they have been all rich and they have got the homes. So that's what I felt that when Jude asked me that the youth of Sundance want to learn, I said immediately we have to teach them. We offer the same course to the students of Bamiyan and Herat University in Afghanistan, and also we have conducted 29 online courses, useful courses for the youth, so that they don't have to, they can be self-employed. So as far as the website web design is concerned, Amir will touch upon how to build websites and web apps, how to build HTML-based mobile apps, and how to that you can generate your own jobs as a junior web developer. So there are ways that you can bid for projects on freelance websites and start your own online business and be comfortable with the front-end developer. Now, even if you develop it like PHP or you use HTML, but back-end, you can use any database. For example, you can use Oracle or you can use MySQL, so that you can develop your own software that people will come to you, because if they go to a company, it is costly. Like schools, they would like to have a very nominal rate for a software program, and you will be very proficient in databases and server-side languages. So please take this course and also keep in touch with Amir, who will also inform your youths, Sundance youths. You can form a group that we regularly give courses, and normally we usually charge, but I said, Jude, not to charge the student, but if you can develop your skills, and also we'll also come out with Android apps, iPhone apps, how to prepare this kind of apps in order to survive this modern world. You are also welcome to visit our colleges, and also sometimes you need to run long programs, you need a high-end servers. You are allowed to make use of the facilities that we have in the lab. So we have about 550 computers. So one of the reasons why we want to reach out to the students of the parishioners of Sundance is the same institution, the same Society of Jesus. Therefore, please feel free to come to our institute and make your life a very successful one. Thank you very much. Carry on with your program.
Thank you, John.
Amir, over to Amir, please.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Father John.
Thank you, Father John.
Thank
Sure,
you,
sure,
Father
sure.
John.
Thank you.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Father John, one request.
Yeah.
At the end of the course, hope we will get one iPad.
You will get, if you score 100 out of 100, you will get. but Amir will give you a very tough test.
Yeah, 100 out of 100 idlis will give you.
Amir, carry on.
Yes. Thank you, Father.
Okay. Amir, you also give them homework, practical, how to do that, very simple thing. In a very simple way, you can explain to them, build a small website and how to upload it in a, there are common websites we can upload and see them,
on
correct?
servers. Yes.
Yeah. So that there are CSS and JS and all that, but they can begin with the HTML. I don't know whether they can start with the PHP, but I think they can start with the HTML to put up some pictures or some text or something like that.
Yes, Father. I'll do that. Thanks
Okay.
for the advice.
Okay. All the best. All the best.
Yes. Thank you, Father.
Amir, one.
Yes. Please go ahead. I think someone was saying something.
Stop speaking.
Pardon?
I sent Demelo. I think she, I don't know.
Yeah, looks like she has a network issue or something.
Yes. But can I ask something?
Yes, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Good that we are learning this web development or designing. Also, some of us, like as Father Jude was saying, we are at a different level altogether. So some of us, we don't know how to edit a video. Is it possible also take one class on that?
Yes, I'll teach you how to edit videos and pictures so that they are more effective and interactive and more prominent for the users so that they can see it and they can like it even more.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, you're most welcome. So we were discussing about HTML5. So all the latest browsers support this language HTML5, and it is the basic language which everyone needs to know in order to pursue his career in web development. So app development is different from web development. Like if you can make websites in HTML, you cannot make websites. You cannot make applications, mobile applications like there are Android apps and there are iOS apps. You cannot develop them in HTML. But what you can do is develop a website which is compatible on such resolutions and such screens. Like the iPhone has a larger screen than that of a Redmi, and then laptops have bigger screens. So the resolution can be adjusted, and you can learn how to change the resolutions according to the need of the user. And it can be a website which can be accessed on all the devices. So you won't be finding any sort of bugs, or for that matter, some problems in the layouts and stuff like that. So I will continue with that. Uh, I will teach you all how to make websites compatible to different devices. And as I mentioned, that HTML is the most important language. If you want to continue in web development, you have to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. At least the basics. So you can move ahead with powerful frameworks like Angular and React and stuff. And let's discuss about what is CSS3. As we have HTML5, we have CSS3. 3 stands for the version of which the framework is currently developed to. It is the third version of CSS. So what is CSS? CSS full form is cascading style sheet. It only is related to stuff with designing the layouts of your web page. When you go on a website, like you'll see the paragraphs are next to each other, then there is a picture near a paragraph and stuff like that. It is all done using CSS.
Cascading, you said?
Cascading style sheet.
Okay.
Yeah. So this cascading style sheet is linked to your HTML document. The main document on which you make your website, it is linked using one small line, and so that you can connect your styling with your content which you are displaying the user. Like you are making a title for your web page and you want the title to be displayed in the center of your website. So that is done using this CSS style sheet. And suppose you want to add paragraph length, like the paragraph should take so many pixels of your web browser. So that is done using CSS. Then the height and the width of your image, then your audio, then your videos, all the alignments and all is done using CSS. All the latest browsers, they support this cascading style sheet. Like if you use this browser, Internet Explorer, so some of the functions like hover effects or shadows of your content, they won't be working on your older browsers, which is Internet Explorer. But if you are using Firefox, if you are using Opera, if you are using Google Chrome, so all these softwares, all these browsers, they will display the styling correctly and the way you want the styling to be. So there are other frameworks of CSS as well. That there is SASS, then there is Bootstrap, then there is Bulma, and there are many more frameworks based on CSS only. So people often use them instead of using the CSS, the general CSS, because these have a bit more advanced features and they have different sort of outputs which attract the user more, and they are quite more efficient, these frameworks. But CSS itself is a very powerful framework, and you don't need to use Bootstrap and SASS. What is Bootstrap exactly? Someone else writes the code of your cascading styling, and you can just use that code simply, and you can just continue with your development only on HTML. But many people suggest not to use this Bootstrap, because here you are not learning how to style your website. Here the user is limited to the features provided by the author. So if you know CSS, you can add your own custom styling to the web browser. Then what is JavaScript? JavaScript is the language which is known as a programming language. In this, what happens is the additional logic which you have to provide, the web browser, like it is used for applying additional and dynamic logic to the web page. So you can, it's like the brain of the body, like the skeleton of your website will be HTML. Then the additional, like people wear clothes and then they style themselves, it's done using CSS for your for your web page. And what JavaScript does is, it is the intellectual part of yourself, like how well you think and how well you can add functions in your web page. Like you want to know the person's email address, and if the person has to add a particular amount of content in the password section and stuff like that, it is done using this JavaScript. And what is ES6 JavaScript? ES6 JavaScript is JavaScript in the latest form. So the previous versions of JavaScript, they had limited syntax, they had limited sort of functions which you could add, and the ways you could write your code was different from that of ES6 JavaScript. So it's nothing much of a difference, but there are a few key differences which make ES6 JavaScript better than the previous versions of JavaScript. So it just has a few more additional syntax, and a better overview of the web browser is given to the user. And it is most loved programming language. Like you see any young student in who is pursuing his career in web development or app development, they mostly like JavaScript. Why? Because it is a very easy programming language. Like you can play with it a lot, and you can customize things in your web page, and you can make it look more attractive, then add functions and make your website a bit more smart. Like the website will know what is it doing and how the person is interacting with your website. And JavaScript itself has many frameworks. Like we had seen, and I had mentioned before about React, Angular, Vue.js, Node.js, TypeScript, and there is Express. So a full stack JavaScript developer has knowledge of front end, back end, and the database. So these frameworks like Node and Express, they are mostly for the back end section of your development. and 90% of the websites, they all use this JavaScript because it is very helpful and it is pretty useful for each and every one. Like if you want to just make a simple website where a person doesn't have to enter any credentials, or the person does not need to contact the user and all, or else the authorities and stuff like that. So you don't need to add JavaScript. It's not a compulsion to add this JavaScript in your web page. Like you can add it for improving the dynamics of your web page and making it a bit more efficient, fast, etc. The most important part after creating your website is the hosting. So many of the tutorials, they don't cover this part because it is quite vast, quite big enough and all that. But I have learned ways to host the website free of cost and in a very easy way. So there is one company named Heroku. It is made specially for developers, so they can deploy their project online on a live server. So if your website is written in PHP, or else you can use Node as the backend. So a very small part of PHP and Node will be covered in this tutorial. So you can deploy your project on Heroku for free of cost. So you can make, yes, yes.
What's PHP?
PHP is also a framework. In the start of the presentation, it is a backend language. It's PHP. It is a backend language used to transfer data. Like how I had mentioned earlier, when you go to a particular website and you want to log in, you want to you have to put your email ID or else your username and then your password. So that username and that password which you entered on that website is sent to the database using the backend languages. So PHP, what it does, it takes the credentials which you entered and it transfers it to the database. Then the database does its work. It will check whether this particular user, Amir Zakaria, is registered on our website or no. Is his username and password matching, yes or no? So database will give another query to this PHP language. It will give the query to this Python language, the backend language. And that query will be displayed on the user's screen. Like you have been logged in into our website successfully, or else oops, looks like your credentials are wrong, something like that. It is done using the backend. So it just takes the content which the person has typed on the web browser, and it takes it and sends it to the database. Then the database, what it does, it just verifies the content. It just checks whether the content, whether the credentials are valid, whether the login username and password is matching or no. Then the database sends a message using this PHP framework back to the user on the front end, that whether you are logged in or whether you have made a mistake in the credentials, or you can check your password, or else you are not a valid user. So PHP just connects the database and the front end code to each other. It has no other function apart from that. Then there's this Node.js. It just connects the front end and the back end. So it is done only through these programming languages. You cannot do the backend part using HTML or else React or else the CSS. You cannot do that backend part. So backend won't be covered much in detail, but for hosting a website on Heroku, a very small query of PHP, I will teach you all what it is and how to add it in your website. So you can host your website for free of cost. And you can give your website an own name. Like I want to make a website for myself. So I will write there Amir Zakaria's blogs, or else Amir Zakaria's website, something like that. And it will check whether that domain is available or no. If it's not available, you can select another domain. Like instead of Amir Zakaria, I will write Zakaria Amir. And then the extension will be .huruku.com. So these websites which we will host in Huruku and GitHub and on the XAMPP server, they won't be indexed on the Google search engine. Like if anyone searches for Amir Zakaria, this website won't be displayed on the search engine of google.com. It is just on the cloud, it is just on a server so that you can share it with your friends. Like if I make an extraordinary website and I love it and it is quite interactive and I want my friend to see it, so what he can do, he can either come over to my place and he can check the website on my laptop, or else I can just copy the entire code and send it to him using Gmail, or else I can just send the code on WhatsApp and he can run the code on his computer to view the things I have done on my website. But if you want to just share it in just one step, like my brother, he's in United States and he doesn't know what is programming and how to go about, and I want to show him the website which I made. So what will I do? I will deploy my project either on Heroku or else on GitHub or else on a XAMPP server. All three are different types of servers. The Heroku is an online server. It is all cloud based. GitHub is another company which is providing free hosting. In GitHub, I think so you cannot add a specific domain to your website. Like in Heroku, you can choose Amir Zakaria blogs, and in GitHub you cannot do that. And what is XAMPP server? It is a server which you install on your laptop, on your PC. So you can start the server and it generates a particular link. It generates a particular link which you can share it with your friends. And that link is valid only for 7 hours. After 7 hours, it automatically goes off. Or else if your internet connection is down with your laptop or your PC, so the connection is automatically cut and the person cannot view it. So I will discuss these hosting types in this tutorial in these few days, which we will be learning web development. So you all can host your website using the cloud services. You can host websites using the general shared hosting, and you can also install a server, a lightweight server on your laptops, on your PCs, so that you all can host your websites free of cost. Because right now we are not taking up projects for different companies or something where we need to purchase servers or you need to purchase a paid hosting. Like Amazon provides hosting free of cost, but you have to enter some things like your credit card or your debit card, and then after the first month it charges you some amount of money. And same goes with Google hosting, same goes with godaddy.com, and then there is hostinger.com. All these websites, they charge you money so that you can host your websites. So these things which I'll be teaching y'all can host your websites free of cost. But the only thing y'all won't be able to do is these websites won't be indexed on Google. Like if you are selling cars and you have made a company and a website on cars, purchase second-hand cars or something like that. So your website won't be indexed on Google. Why? Because Heroku won't allow that, and GitHub won't allow that. Even though if you add the SEO part and stuff, still it won't be indexed. What you can do, you can just get to know how your website will look on the real server. Is it accessible on phones, and is it available, and do people like it or not? So you can do that using these hosting services. So think so that's all I will be covering up in this course. If you all have any questions, comments or problems, you all can go ahead, and if not, then I can move ahead with the course. So far, if you all feel you all haven't understood anything, you all can just message on the chat, or else you all can unmute yourselves and question me.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
All these front end, back end, all these languages have to be uploaded on a mobile or laptop, right?
No, you don't have to install a particular thing to develop for now. Like if you're in our course, we will be dealing only with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. For these frameworks, you don't need to install anything as such, which is important for the development purpose. But when you will be dealing with the advanced section of the development, like in future you wish to make websites with which has databases, which has a backend code. So for that there are different frameworks which you have to install on your computer. Like there is this node.js backend. It's a software which you can go on google.com and you can just download this software. Can you all see my Chrome browser?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so if I just type node over here and I hit enter, and you all can see this website over here, nodejs.org. So if you want to code a website having the backend as node, what you'll have to do is just go on that website and you will have to install their software. Like if I just scroll down, you all can see these two softwares. You have to just choose one of them and install it on your PC. Because when you will be developing the backend part, you won't be having a server at that moment. So how will the website look on a server? You will have to install these backend frameworks. So you can connect your backend and your front end using these frameworks on your PC. And if you want to code in Python, okay, so you have to install this Python application over here. Like you have to go to the downloads section and you can download this latest version of Python 3, Python 3.9.0. So if you want to code in these frameworks, you have to download these softwares.
Okay, Amir.
Yes, father. Yes, sir.
Oh, Ankit. Whatever you're saying about the Python and all, the database and
Yes,
if we download, so are they paid or free version?
they all are free versions. So you can
Acha, acha.
download them for free of cost.
Okay. Okay, so you will teach us the each and everything about that.
I will be teaching only HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript, because learning these frameworks, it takes a lot of experience in the basics of web development. Like if you
Okay.
have advanced knowledge of HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript, then you can move on to these frameworks. Like if you have 1 month or 2 months of experience on these basic
Experience on
frameworks, then
Acha.
you can take up and you can understand these advanced frameworks. In this tutorial, I'll be covering only the basics. So you in future, if you want an advanced course, you can ask Father Jude Fernandez, or else you can ask Father Rose to organize one. So I have learned the MERN stack in the JavaScript, which stands for MongoDB as the database. It stands for Express.js for backend, and React Native for the front end, and the Node.js software to connect the backend and the front end.
Okay. So you are teaching only the basic HTML.
Yes. You all will be able to make. Yes.
After we learn HTML5 and with the experience, I experienced like 2-3 months. After that, we can move on to the next step.
Yes, we can. So after learning HTML, you all will be able to make interactive websites. Like you can see this website over here. Like you can make good websites with high quality display and colors and different sort of font size, font families, and it will be more than enough to make a front-end website. If you want to make an e-commerce website, then you'll have to learn the advanced frameworks. If you want to make a social media platform like Instagram, or you want to make a platform like Facebook, then you have to go to the advanced frameworks. But if you want to just make a website for your parish, okay, like you have a church, and you can make a website for that displaying everything about your church. Like if I go to StanishLaws.com, so over here, like y'all see the content over here, y'all can add links on your web page using HTML and CSS only. So over here, you don't have to send any messages to the hosting person, or else there's no such thing as a login system over here. Like you can just display the content. You have a school, like you can add all the courses you all offer, then what is the latest news happening in your school. Like Stanislaus has done everything, like the latest news, announcements, and admissions, school life. You all will be able to add information which a person can read, which a person can copy, share, and there will be pictures, videos as well. You will be able to use and add using HTML framework. And if you want to make chat system and all, then the advanced frameworks have to be learned.
Okay, got it.
Anyone has any other questions?
No. So all this can be done on the mobile, or we have to use a laptop, right?
You have to use a laptop or a PC. It is advisable to use it. Or else what you can do for the time, you can use an online text editor. Like if you just type this query, online text editor for HTML. So there is this w3schools.com, which provides an online text editor. So you can just type code over here, and you can view the content on your phone as well. Like if I just go ahead and remove all this, the styling part. And you just run the code over here, which you type, it will work on your cell phone.
Okay.
So you can use this text editor. I don't know, right now it's not just functioning well, but usually the server is always up and running, and you can access everything easily over here.
Okay.
Anyone has any further queries? So I think all of y'all are using laptops, right? Everyone over here has laptops?
Yeah, I have.
Yes, I have, but at the moment I'm talking to you from my mobile. I'm kind of listening everything on the mobile.
Okay, that's not an issue. But what I want you all to do is just install a text editor so that you all can code your websites in that particular text editor. You all can make your websites in a application called as Notepad. Okay, if you go to Notepad and you open this particular application in your, you all can see the screen.
Google.
You all can see this Notepad.
No, we can see. Yeah.
Yeah, now, so you all can type your code in this as well. Okay, you all can open the tags, and then you can close the tags, and you can save the file with an extension .html. You all can do everything in this Notepad, but it is advised something .html. If you have this extension .html, then your website and your code will run. But it is advised to download a text editor. Okay.
Can I come in?
Yes.
We have it's already 10 o'clock.
If you
Okay.
can, give us the homework for when are we meeting? Are we meeting tomorrow, Sunday?
I don't mind if we meet tomorrow as well, or else you can wait for more students to join in, so we can meet on Monday. As
Laurie,
you,
what is it? Laurie, Father Laurie, any suggestions?
I think we need to get some more youngsters.
We
Can work on
meet
that.
on Monday.
Yeah, Monday, I think better.
Yeah, Amir will meet on Monday.
okay, okay.
Since tomorrow is a holiday, you can give us enough homework now.
Yes. So can I create a WhatsApp group or something where I can send you the homework?
Yes.
Yes. Sure.
So I think all of y'all have registered on this Google form.
Yes.
Yes.
We have done.
Yes. So I'll create a WhatsApp group, and I will send y'all what y'all have to install so that y'all can use and y'all can code in HTML on your laptops.
Okay.
Okay. So I think so
And
that's
Amir,
yes.
Amir, on Monday, are we joining on the same link or we'll get the new link?
Same link.
Same link. Okay.
Yes. So from Monday we'll start the development section, like all the practically learning part and developing websites. We'll start from Monday, and I'll just send you all a message on what all you all have to install, so you all can develop your website easily.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.